Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new monthly ranking here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Denenberg, and I am talking today about all of the movies that I saw in the month of January. I got to see 8 new releases that came out in the month of January. Some of these films came out in festivals in late 2020, but released for us, the public, in 2020 on streaming services. I'll also have these out for you in this ranking. Before I get into my ranking of month of January 2021, the first month of the new year, please be sure to hit that like button and the thumbs up button. That is the best way to support this channel. Also, please comment down below your ranking of the movies that you saw in the month of January. I know I didn't get to see every single thing that came straight to VOD, PVOD, streaming. I've seen basically every streaming movie, but if you haven't seen any of the PVOD ones or foreign films, add that to your list. Let's have a fun discussion in the comment section down below. Also, let's not have any hatred, no negativity. This is just my list. This is just my ranking of these films. If you disagree with me, let's have a fun conversation in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews, streaming platform reviews, TV show reviews, and movie rankings just like these. So if you're into one of these things, please hit that subscribe button on our way to 100 subscribers. Let's get there as soon as possible. Now let's get into this ranking. As you can see on the screen, we're starting from 8 to 1. I saw 8 movies. And coming in number 8 is Locked Down, which was the brand new HBO Max original film that came out this month that was shot all during the pandemic. And the plot of the movie revolves around the pandemic. The film stars Anne Hathaway and Chiwetel Ejiofor and is directed by Doug Liman. And basically Anne Hathaway, and also before I get into my full thoughts of the films, I have done reviews, non-spoiler fashion, of all of these movies already on my YouTube channel. I'll leave a thing next to my head at the end of the video where you can click on and see my full thoughts. I'm not going to go full in detail with these films because I've already done it on the channel, but I'll give you my brief thoughts on the films. So Locked Down was a film that I was really excited for because of the people behind the screen, people in front of the screen, and Chiwetel Ejiofor is really fantastic in the film, and also Anne Hathaway is extremely solid. But this film has a plot that really isn't that enjoyable. One of the most boring experiences, definitely the most boring experience that I had watching a movie in the month of January. This film really could have been unique, but a lot of the movie, especially the first half of the film, is just Zoom calls where we have a camera in the house where Ejiofor and Hathaway live, and we're just zooming other people. And there's so many celebrity cameos that kind of get old throughout the film. Ben Kingsley's on 2 FaceTimes with Ejiofor. Ben Stiller is on 2 Zoom calls with Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Stephen Merchant, Dule Hill. They're all via Zoom. You don't really get to see any of these actors in person except really Hathaway and Ejiofor. And Ejiofor easily had the best arc of the film in the lead role. But there's a whole thing about this heist that happens in the third act, and he didn't feel as emotional about the heist because Ejiofor's character shouldn't be in that position. The way he's talking throughout the film, he had no business being in this position. And Anne Hathaway's character at times was really quite unlikable in the first couple, really in this entire film. So while they were really great together and they had good performances, the story just couldn't hold up, and he really didn't care at all for the third act. Let's move into the 7th film on my list, and that is Outside the Wire, which is a Netflix film with Anthony Mackie, Damson Idris, and Michael Kelly that came on Netflix. And another film that had an intriguing cast, intriguing plot. The fact that Anthony Mackie basically is like the Terminator. He's not human in this futuristic world. It's about a drone pilot played by Idris who does something bad in the opening act that makes him have to go into the field with Mackie's character to locate a doomsday device. And I thought Idris, and a lot of people are not liking his performance or the character. He was, in my opinion, the best part of the film. That he makes this huge mistake in the beginning of the film as a drone person. He sits at home, he does the drone stuff, but he doesn't actually understand what he does when he starts to kill people using drones. And when he goes in the field, he starts to realize this stuff. All of that stuff for me really worked with the film. And Mackie was good in the film. But the plot is so predictable. And if seen these post-apocalyptic or futuristic worlds with all the stereotypes thrown into this film. And it was just a huge misfire. There's a huge villain of the movie that they continue just to say by name throughout the film. They don't show him at all until later in the film. He just brought up a billion times. He is so unconsequential to the actual plot of the film that it just became very, very distracting. Of course, for this type of movie, we need a doomsday device to stop. And the film was just a very predictable. It was a lot of twists and turns that you can see coming a mile away. And this film became very, very disappointing. Talking about disappointing, coming in, guys, at number 6. I hate to do this, but it is The Little Things, which is the new HBO Max simultaneously in theaters movie. Again, this was supposed to be in theaters in January of this year, but of course, with the pandemic, it was a part of that deal where it goes to HBO Max and it goes to the theaters. And this is easily the most disappointing film that I've watched in the last couple of months. Really great talent behind on the screen. Obviously, Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. John Lee Hancock, who's done, The Founder, The Blind Side. He's wrote Saving Mr. Banks. A lot of big time, great stuff. And then he goes into this. And while the acting is good, I think Denzel Washington is easily the best character and the best performance in the entire film. Again, all the actors are good. A really great score that I want to see get nominated at the Academy Awards by Thomas Newman. But this film is a detective film, which I'm all for. But when it's a detective film and you're not really getting that much action in the film, which I'm all for, you need more compelling dialogue and more compelling characters. And the biggest disappointment about that was Rami Malek's character, who I thought gave a good performance. They set up something really good for his character in the opening of the film, and then nothing really pays off with his character. And then Jared Leto felt a little bit too much typecast for me. You can kind of understand exactly why Jared Leto is cast in this film when you watch it. And he's very good in the film. It just felt very typecast. Like, of course, Jared Leto's in this role. It became a bit distracting at times. And again, the ending of the film felt so bland and disappointing. And this might be actually one of the more forgettable movies that I'll see in 2021 because it left me feeling absolutely nothing afterwards. Let's move into my top 5, guys. Top 5 of the month. And coming in at number 5 is Palmer, the Apple TV Plus's original film that came out this month of Justin Timberlake, that I actually thought was fine. I thought that the first hour and 15 minutes of this movie was really quite boring. Nothing was really happening. Because Palmer in the opening of the film is very just one note. He isn't given a lot of dialogue. He seems like he's in a mood. He comes out of prison and he has to take care of this kid. And it's a good performance from Timberlake. Easily, in my opinion, the best overall acting that he's done before in his career, but really falls short of a story that could be special. This movie felt to me that it could have been on the precipice of being a great to special movie, but then it puts in all the tropes of this genre, literally all of them, into the film, and it really does hurt the film. As I said, the first hour and 15, nothing really happened, and I timed it when something, in my opinion, actually started to really happen. That was at the 1 hour, 15-minute mark of a 2-hour movie. The ending of this film, and really the chemistry between Ryder Allen, who plays the kid Sam, and Timberlake playing Palmer, have great chemistry on screen together. You really do get quite emotional towards the end of the film, especially with those two characters are so linked. You understand why they both want to care for each other, and it's a very beautiful relationship that I wish didn't have a lot of generic stereotypes about the film. Like, of course, Palmer needs a love interest, who, of course, is a teacher for this kid. You also have Sam's mom, played by Juno Temple, who I love, of course, is the psychotic person. There's a lot of stereotypes that are in these films that are all in here. And it definitely pulls me up. But I think the movie is still fine. I still recommend you guys check this one out. Top 4 here, really quick, guys. Coming in number 4 is The Dig. This also, just like Palmer, just came out. This is Ralph Fiennes and Carey Mulligan, a true story that I didn't even know about. And maybe because we live in America, but it's a really beautiful and historical drama here with Fiennes and Mulligan giving very reserved, really good performances, especially Fiennes, who absolutely delivers in the film. Now, I would say the first half of the movie is a lot more interesting and better than the second half of the film. I've heard a lot of mixed things about the film. Some people really enjoy it. Some people think it's really boring because it's just about a dig. But the idea of this dig, having Ralph Fiennes' character has a huge character arc about having this particular job as an archaeologist, and does he deserve credit for this? He should be getting credit for this, but why are other people saying he shouldn't? And him and Mulligan have a really great chemistry of a friendship throughout the film. that extends down to Carey Mulligan's son, which I really, really loved. Why this film couldn't get on a great tier for me, it's only a good movie, in my opinion, a really good movie. It couldn't get to great because of too many other subplots that were added into the film. Obviously, this is based on a true story, but there's a cousin arc. Johnny Flynn's character, who plays Carey Mulligan's cousin, he is in the film for no apparent reason. It really took me out of the film at times. Good performance, but just took me out of the film. And then Lily James just pops into the film with her own subplot an hour into the film, and it was just a very typical 1930s. I'm in the wrong marriage. He doesn't even remember my name, and she wants out of the marriage. You've kind of seen it a billion times. When it's just focused on this dig, Ray finds Carey Mulligan, the people in the beginning of the film, it really does feel special and very good. But then it does start to lose itself with adding too many subplots. But I still think it's a very, very solid film. As we move into our top three, it's a Netflix film, just like The Dig. And let me just find it. It's called The White Tiger, all Indian film in India, Indian cast, obviously told in English, though, with a really great breakout performance from Ardhash Gaurav. He was really, really good in the film. Priyanka Chopra is excellent in the film, as is Rajkumar Rao. It's a really interesting film about an Indian driver who uses his wit and cunning to escape from poverty and rise to the top. A really great story that I thought could have been a lot better. It is based off a book, and the film is an hour and 25 minutes. It did feel too long. The film could have easily been an hour 45. This film does extend over the 2 hours. And for me, it does at times feel like a book. At times, I felt like there was a little too much going on, especially towards the third act. They added a huge subplot with a cousin, possibly, of this kid. It got a little too much. And Priyanka Chopra has a big character decision to make in the middle of the film, and then she disappears for the rest of the film, which didn't really make a lot of sense to me. She was so great in the film, but this lead character is really, really great. It was great to see Indian culture represented in this way too. It's a really great educational for us in the United States, but probably as well quite relatable for people in India. So I thought also that was very, very well done. And the film felt fresh. It felt very unique, even though I thought it was a solid film. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It could have been a lot better, but I still thought it was a very solid film that shows about someone who goes from poor to a driver to possibly on top in some way in his hierarchy. Let's move into our top two here. These two films are both 4 out of 5 stars for me. Both will be an award season, and the first one is coming in at number 2 is Pieces of a Woman. As I said, the 2 top films on my list are both festival films from last year. Some people do count as their 2020 list. It's all cool for you, but for me, I saw it in 2021 and saw this on Netflix, so it counts as a 2021 film for me. This stars Vanessa Kirby, Shia LaBeouf, and Ellen Burstyn. Really, really good film that is very hard to watch. Easily the most hard to watch film that I've seen in a long time. But Vanessa Kirby and Shia LaBeouf play a married couple, and a pregnancy goes wrong. And that's basically the film and how to respond after something like that big happens. And I thought it was very well done. The first 30 minutes are easily the best part of the film. It's a 30-minute, one take that is must-watch television, really must-watch movie. It's so fantastic. Vanessa Kirby is getting a lot of talks for being nominated, not just at the Golden Globes on Wednesday, but also the Academy Awards, the Oscars, and she definitely deserves to be nominated. This is a really great performance from Kirby, showing the ups and downs of pregnancy and what happens after something like this catastrophic. How does that affect you? I thought Kirby does a great job. Also, Shia LaBeouf does a very good job as well, playing her husband very, very well. He does have a subplot in the middle of the film with Sarah Snook's character, which I did not like at all and really didn't make sense being in the film. Ellen Burstyn plays the mom. She is Vanessa Kirby's mom. She's also getting a lot of award praise. She is also very good in the film. A lot more to do in the second half of the film. She was quite annoying to me in the first half, but then once she becomes more grounded of a character, she really elevates her, and Bernstein does a great job performing her. So it's a really solid film, also a really beautiful score, and very well directed. So I really did I can't say I enjoyed this film. It's a very hard film to watch because it feels so real, but a very well done film that I hope people check out on Netflix. Obviously, people will, because Vanessa Kirby and Ellen Burstyn are going to get nominated during award season. And coming in at number 1, is One Night in Miami. This, in my opinion, is the best film I saw in the month of January. Based off a play, a fictional conversation between Sam Cooke, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and Jim Brown. That was directorial debut for Regina King, written by Kemp Powers, who wrote the play and adapted it to movie. He just wrote Soul, which is my favorite film of 2020. It's also my favorite film of 2021, One Night in Miami. Again, I think that it could have been a lot better, in my opinion. I still think it's a really great film, but it could have been elevated because at times the film really does feel like a staged play. We're basically just in one or two locations during the entire film. But it's telling by great writing from Powers, amazing writing, and great performances, especially from Kingsley Ben-Adir as Malcolm X, and the man who will be getting nominated during award season, Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke. Great performances across the board by everyone, but those two are the huge standouts in the film. But it's definitely helped by great dialogue, a great direction from Regina King, and some conversations about what the responsibility of being a top tier, just being one of the most influential African American people in the world, and what that responsibility means to each of these different people. One of them is a football player, one of them is a boxer, one of them is a musician, and one of them is an activist. How do they all fit into the same fold? I thought it was very, very well done. Great performances, great dialogue, great direction. So that is my list, guys, for the month of January here in 2021. Leave a like if you're enjoying this ranking. Also, please comment down below. Do you agree with my ranking? If not, tell me your ranking in the comment section down below. Subscribe, share, ring that bell. I'll be coming Wednesday. Will be our next video. I'll be telling you about my thoughts of the Golden Globe nominations, movie and TV. I'll break down those nominations on Wednesday. And this upcoming Friday, we got two new movies. One on Hulu and the Malcolm and Marie film on Netflix. I'll be reviewing on this YouTube channel. So a lot of busy stuff coming up on the channel. So you got to ring that bell to be notified when those videos drop here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much.